Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brannon, bringing you all professional wrestling news, notes, innuendos, and whatever the hell else you freaking want to hear about with professional wrestling. That's what I do. That's what we're going to do. All right, and let me tell you, we got some stuff to get to. Oh my God, do we got some stuff to get to. As I just want to go ahead and say, my first note, I have our welcome, as I do every time. By the way, my notes are always bleh, but sometimes I can't even read my own damn handwriting. But I want to say this. My top note, besides welcome, was, oh, to be a wrestling fan. All right? I'm just going to say it. Oh, to be a wrestling fan. You have so much awesome shit happening right now, and I cannot be happier about it. And that brings me what we're going to go over today, guys. We got to recap Monday Night Raw from a couple nights ago. Oh my God, it was a great show. We're going to talk about NXT Roadblock quickly from last night, although we won't spend a ton of time on it just because there's lack of time. And then obviously tonight we have AEW's flagship Dynamite going tonight, coming off that awesome show on Sunday for Revolution. So we've got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to do. Let's just go ahead and get right to it, guys. Let's go to Monday Night Raw, man. It was so, my note says, it's so good in spots and just okay in spots. But I will say there's one thing that just really, really pissed me off about this episode, and I'm going to get to it here in a minute. It's not often that WWE, or AEW for that matter, really gets to me. They got to me a little bit, all right, and we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna start things off though. We had Jay Uso. I'm gonna tell you what the old saying in wrestling is: if you're over in New York, you're over everywhere. Well, guess what? Jay Uso is over everywhere. I'm not really sure how I feel about the orange. I don't know why, but the orange gear didn't really work for me again. But overall, man, Jay is so over. You see the crowd, they're so into him. The one little fella, he was struggling with the timing of his yeet, but we've all been there. I think he's so over right now. And I was so excited to see that the New York fans were going to be all over him the way they were. I mean, that's Madison Square Garden. You got freaking almost 20,000 people in that place, and they were eating all over the place. So, yeah, it was good. And also, his opponent was a carryover from the issue they had last week with Grayson Waller, where Jay had went in and kind of beat the hell out of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And I thought that this match was meh. I didn't understand it, but I want to say this, man. Grayson Waller showed out. He's such a good athlete and probably doesn't get credit for his being as athletic as he is. I mean, he does some stuff in there that's pretty top notch. And this match itself was good, man. It was like Grayson Waller said, "Oh, you're going to give me a chance to shine. Hold my beer," and that's exactly what he did. Really good match. Jay goes over. You know that's going to happen. He got to Theory a little bit as well. And then, of course, afterwards is over. He's beating down Waller. Jay is. He's beating down Theory. And then, boom, out of nowhere, here comes Gunther again, right? Gunther with the sleeper. Gets him from behind. Yeah, it just happened again. And here's the deal, all right? Jay's so over, so it's gonna work. There's so many people in the crowd that's just gonna get pissed with him getting beat up. But man, can we maybe do a different little tactic? I guess that's my issue with that. I've said it from the beginning. Gunther said, "I'm going to kick your ass for 10 straight weeks." Well, here we are. What, like a little less than 5 weeks away now from Mania, and I feel like, man, he's going to jump behind him and give him the sleeper again. Like, really? That's the route we're going to go? We're going to do that one again? I don't know, jumping backstage, wait for him in the freaking locker room, wait for him in the parking lot when he pulls up. There's other ways that you can beat the hell out of him except for the same old jump you from behind to give you a sleeper. And the other thing is I don't like Gunther doing the whole from behind thing. His whole idea is, I am going to kick your ass. And then we see it from, I don't know. It just, for some reason, for the first time since all of this happened, since Jay won the Royal Rumble, and you guys know I'm a proponent for Jay versus Gunther. But for the first time, I'll say that this one here missed a little bit. The match was great, man. The match was outstanding. But my thing is why not Jay win the match? Austin Theory comes in. Jay takes out Austin Theory. Jay takes out Grayson Waller. That's over with. he's good to go. Man, we're yeeting all over the place, Madison Square Yeet Garden. And then he gets to the back, and instead of being celebrated, he gets his head smashed in. Like, I don't know. It's just something simple like that seemed to be just that different nuance. You keep Jay as the super underdog, and you keep Gunther looking strong and tough. I don't know. I just feel like sleeper from behind. Again, if I tell you this, if I get a sleeper from freaking behind next week, I'm probably going to knock this down a notch. I'm probably going to be saying that maybe this isn't a main event. I, I don't know. We still got 5 weeks, almost 5 weeks. So yeah, I thought the match was good. Not bad. And the show stayed consistent with that. It was like the show had so many good points, and then at the same time, even in the same segments, we had some negative. Now I'm gonna tell you, I rated the show very, very high. I will tell you that. One of my higher ratings for Raw that I've had in a very long time. But it's for one damn reason and one reason only, and it's the main event. And we're gonna get to that, all right? But next segment we had Logan Paul come out. He got into an argument with hold on. It's been a long day. He got into an argument with Andrew Schultz. Apparently, he's a comedian. He's got a Netflix special. I'll be honest with you. If it's not professional baseball, if it's not basketball, it's not some form of college football, if it's not fantasy football, like if it's not that or professional wrestling or like Chicago PD and Fire and all those and the FBI's like and Survivor, like if it wasn't for that, I'm in tune to nothing. Like if there's a new Star Wars movie out, I'm there. If there's a new Marvel movie out, I'm there. Um, Other than that, pop culture, I'm old. I'm an old man, and I did not know who Andrew Schultz was. I complimented him on his mustache. You could set your watch to that damn thing, but like I don't know. It was that Frank Gotch. Is that who that was? It looked like a damn 1930s wrestler. But overall, I didn't know who he was, so it's like I kept even looking at my wife, like, who? And then it would said his name, Andrew Schultz. Who? I just like the whole thing didn't work for me. However, the call out of AJ Styles completely worked. By the way, that was one of the best phenomenal forearms I've seen in a long time. He knocked the shit out of Logan Paul. But overall, the segment was okay. Like I said, you had the Andrew Schultz thing, which I, I get it. Netflix has to promote the Netflix stars. Like, I understand that. And that's part of what we're going to get out of this. But here again, I think I said this on the last show. Aren't we getting a little loose with the term superstar? Are we getting a little loose with the term legend? Like, I don't know. I would be like calling me a hard hitting wrestling journalist. Like, no, I'm not. I'm a fucking mark. I'm a fan that likes to think I know more than most. But, yeah, this thing didn't work. At the end, it worked fine because you had AJ. And by the way, we're going to get AJ and Logan Paul at Mania most likely, and freaking phenomenal. Okay, that's great. Let's do it. Um, the other thing that I thought though was really interesting here. Two things. One, Logan Paul basically begging for the Rock's rub. He wants a rub from the Rock, saying that his soul is definitely for sale. That's interesting. That's interesting because I can't see the Rock and John Cena biting on that. Regardless of how you think about them, they are wrestlers at heart. So Logan Paul, not a wrestler at heart. So I don't know. Maybe that does work as far as the social media superstar movie thing. I don't know. But like I thought that was interesting. But more so than that, I love that when Logan Paul come down, you had the guy, which obviously a plant. You know that was a plant, but he had the I Hate Logan Paul t-shirt on, and Logan rips it off of him, and then the dude just stands there like, huh? Huh? Like, no, man. But the T-shirt was awesome. By the way, apparently the T-shirt is now on WWEshop.com, which I have not been on today. I want to go ahead and say there is still not a John Cena heel shirt. It's the only reason I haven't ordered one yet. That's why we're rocking Joe Hendry today. But yeah, I thought that the shirt was awesome. That plant was awesome. The whole thing. But the segment, again, 50-50. Kind of like the Jay thing. It had stuff I liked. It had stuff I didn't like. The best thing I liked, though, about the Logan Paul thing was after the fact when Pat McAfee actually makes the comment that I can't believe you would do that in front of Kevin McAllister because Macaulay Culkin was in the house. huge wrestling fan is Macaulay Culkin. WWE, I know he's been into AEW, he's been at New Japan events as well. Like the dude is a wrestling freak, but he is a WWE staple. So, but having him referred to as Kevin McAllister kind of made me giggle. That totally worked for me. The other thing that totally worked for me came up next. We had a tag team tornado match, right? A tornado tag match, I should say. If you don't know what that means, it's basically a free for all. Okay, but no one is ever a legal man. Everyone's constantly going at it. There's not really disqualifications. It's a free for all. The match itself was really good. Man, Ray and Kofi, those two, man, I would watch that. And they probably wrestled each other quite a bit, I would assume. Even though they've both been baby faces, I assume that they've had a lot of encounters. Um, if not, just being around each other and learning that style. But those two dudes looked fantastic together. Dragon Lee and Xavier, not so much. Matter of fact, there was a little bit of a mess up on a Hurricane Rana where a table didn't break and then it kind of broke after the fact. And it's like, is that a gimmick? Is it not a gimmick? It was not a good look. But regardless, I think Woodsy got hurt a little bit on that, landing so hard on the floor after sliding off the table, which then breaks. I'm not saying a word. We're leaving that at that. But the best part of this match wasn't the fact that Ray and Kofi were amazing. It was the fact of what we got after. All right, because we got a little interference from a mystery, a total mystery. Uh, was it Chad Gable? I don't know. He had an American-made mask on. We know Chad's been trying to figure out what's going on with the dark arts of lucha libre. And last week he was given a box, and everybody's like, "What's in the box?" But it was that the mask. I don't know. Later on in the show, Kathy Kelly's interviewing Chad Gable backstage, and he's like, "It wasn't me." And of course, we're all laughing. Then we see in the distance a masked man with that same mask getting escorted out of the building. I will tell you that dude was not big enough to be either member of American Made and not small enough to be Ivy Nile. So, who was it? Who was it? So it could be very interesting moving forward. By the way, I am a huge sucker for a mystery mask man, especially when we have an idea of who the mystery mask man is. It kind of goes back to Hogan back in the day, Mr. America, right? Go back to Dusty Rhodes back in the day when he was, I forget the name off the top of my head what he went by, but he had the gold and black mask and wore the cowboy boots. Like, you think about these guys, these secret mask men, and it just, I don't know, it's fun. It's a throwback, and I love it. And Chad Gable is great. By the way, the funniest part about that is, and the best part about that was when Chad Gable, he usually does thank you. This one he did gracias. So like, if that's not working for you, I got nothing for you. It's absolutely awesome. We'll see more. That's gonna lead more. I have a feeling we're gonna get some Ray Chad Gable action moving forward. I'm totally good with that. Talk about two classics, great styles that'll match up too. Cody's promo. Cody's promo was awesome. Cody's promo was absolutely great. I thought that his promo on Friday was so good. And you guys know, I mean, I preached that promo being amazing. If it hadn't been for CM Punk last week, it would have been one of the top ones. This one here was better. I thought this promo was better. As of right now, it's promo of the week. Obviously, we have some more shows to get to. But yeah, this one was really good. And I really loved the aggressiveness of Cody. I liked how he stayed aggressive, yet calm. Like, he had a good demeanor about him, but was very matter of fact. And he said that one line, 17 is not happening. That to me told me everything I need to know, right? Now, he also said that him and Cena are going to be in the building together next week, which, by the way, Monday Night Raw is in Brussels. If you want to watch it live, I think it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So nice, I guess. Weird, but nice. Just try not to get everything spoiled. So, that's the hardest thing for me is staying off the internet, staying off social media. But excuse me. But I will say that, like, this whole idea is it's wildfire, man, and it's just going to keep growing. Cannot wait to see them in the same building. I don't know, will they interact? Will it be a one? We'll see. But just the idea of them being in the same building, the aggression that Cody has, the fact that we haven't heard from John Cena, it just leads more and more to the excitement that's going to be good. This story's fantastic, guys. They're going to keep building off of it, and I cannot freaking wait. All right, now that brings me to the part of this show that pissed me off more than anything. All right, we had a match for the number one contender for the Intercontinental title, held by Lyra Valkyria. We know that. I've actually been okay with Lyra recently. The match, Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez. You guys know I'm not a big Raquel Rodriguez fan. I don't understand a lot of it. I don't understand the push in a way. And again, I respect it. Like, I respect her. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for entertaining. But again, it's not my cup of tea here, okay? But I'm going to say this. More so than a person, you know what's not my cup of tea? Knowing that we have a very, very large women's roster, and you're going to have Raquel Rodriguez, who is a tag champion, mind you. You're going to have her go over Bayley, and now she's going to be the number one contender for the Intercontinental belt. Could we not find someone else in the locker room? Like, was there no one else that we could go through to create another story for maybe somebody else to have a chance to shine? I'm sorry, and I know I haven't been big on these secondary belts for the women. I like the U.S. belt better because Chelsea's doing really something with it. But I've thought recently Lyra has really started to build it the last 2 weeks, really. But now we're going to put her in the ring with Raquel Rodriguez, who's a monster, who already has a belt, who also is in a faction, who can cheat to win. Like, explain to me how this works. I'm sorry, and I have been nothing but supportive of the Paul Levesque era. I still am. Triple H is doing such wonderful stuff. The stories are great, but this sucks, man. This part sucks. Like, you have a belt already. Like, you are a women's tag team champion with one of the hottest freaking things out there in Liv Morgan, and we're going to go a different direction and chase the IC belt. And you knew they built to this. Liv has mentioned it the last couple of weeks to focus on that. But it doesn't work, man. You just put a fucking belt on her. You just put the tag belt on her. You can't tell me that there wasn't somebody else backstage. Hell, Roxanne Perez deserves it, man. What else does she need to do? She's ready. Bring her up to the main roster. If anybody deserves a shot at the Intercontinental belt, a mid belt, it's freaking Roxanne Perez. Like, that doesn't make any damn sense to me. So, if someone could make sense out of that to me, I would be super, super, super good. I have dumb written down in capital letters, and I have why written down in capital letters, because none of this made sense to me. It just didn't make sense. But I'm going to say it was so damn good at the end. It didn't matter. That's why the grade is so high. Like, something like that might be the most angry I've been on this show. But like, out of 40 freaking 3 episodes. But like, it just doesn't work. But you know it got better because of that main event. And what else got better was the interview. Io Sky is going to interview with Michael Cole. It gets interrupted by Bianca. Bianca comes out. That's fine. Which, by the way, did anybody notice the change of clothes? She was in all black early in the night when they showed her coming in, and she looked very heelish. And then when she came out for the interview segment, she's wearing her bright blue. So she had her babyface colors on. Facial expressions didn't match the colors, ladies. Facial expressions didn't match the colors. I'm telling you, there's still something up here. And what we get out of this also is Rhea coming down. Guys, we're getting a triple threat at main event, or at Mania. You know we are. Rhea versus Bianca versus Io for those belts. And I love the storytelling of Rhea pushing Io out of the way. She's a secondary thought to this. Then Bianca pushing Io out of the way. She's a secondary thought to this. And then at the end, people like, wait a second, she's the fucking champion. And she came out and slapped shit out of both of them. And I thought it was perfect. It was excellent. Perfect shot, clears the ring, shows you who the champion is, but you know she's going to have to go through 2 of the best that exist in the business today. And I'm telling you, this has a chance to be a show stealer. It really does. It has a chance to be a show stealer. If I am making the perfect match to open Mania Night 1, it's this. This is it. This is how you grab everybody, all right? Perfect way to lead in to the main event. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in the cage. Oh my God. What I put on this is, now that's a cage match. All right. And I want to go ahead and preface this. No blood. No blood was needed. Those two dudes beat the hell out of each other. All right. For freaking 20 minutes. They beat the absolute hell out of each other. They gave me so much emotion. They told such a story. One of my favorite parts is both Both guys have the opportunity to win at different points in the match by escaping the cage. Nah, neither of them are going to win that way. They taunted each other with it. Oh, like, you're going to win that way? What are you, weak? Something like that. Like, I absolutely thought that led and gave us so much more to an already amazing story. Wow, just wow. Then we get the tribal chief, right? We're throwing our ones up. The tribal chief, by the way, you didn't see him. That was such perfect job with production, with camera crew. Like, Seth's beating the shit out of him. We're getting ready for this. It's going, it's going, it's going. And then Roman yanks him out of the cage. Seth wins the match because he escapes the cage, thanks to Roman Reigns. The way that he didn't want to win that match, the way that Punk was egging him on to win that match. And then freaking Tribal Chief goes to work, right? And like I said, you didn't see him at the beginning, but you see him at the end. And my God, was it good. And it got better because all of a sudden Adam Pearce and the crew come in, they keep the tribal chief away from hurting Seth Rollins, and he glances into the cage and he sees Paul Heyman helping CM Punk, consoling CM Punk. We know their history. They're very close. I mean, he is the original Paul Heyman guy, non-ECW. Like, and he's ECW too, by the way. But like, that was so good to have Roman look at him and then almost like laugh as if to say, "The hell are you doing?" And then enter Roman into the cage. And then that's is where he beats the hell out of CM Punk. Who's the last man standing? The tribal chief. You know what you just did? You just created more story, more intrigue. You're now going to get the backstory of Seth and Roman and Punk and Seth and Punk and Roman and Paul Heyman over it all. Like, oh my gosh. By the way, how you keep that from being a main event on one of the nights, I don't know. I just don't know. You can't tell me that people in general are not more interested in that match than they are some of the others. I mean, it really is. Cody and John Cena are going to be a main event. You probably think it's going to be Gunther and Jay, but at the same time, can you really book Gunther and Jay over those three dudes? And I know I'm a guy, I think the belt should always be the main event. Not necessarily the men's belt. Sometimes the women's belt can be the big belt, not secondary titles. But like that, those three, Roman, Seth, and Punk, like, I don't know. I don't know how you don't make it the main event. I really don't, because whatever you're going to follow it with better freaking knock my socks off. That's all I know. But yeah, the match was good, man. The violence was so good. The emotion was so good. Not a drop of blood shed. We got such intrigue at the end. That's the best cage match I've seen in a long time. Matter of fact, I put it up there with some of the best cage matches of all time. And just Sunday night in AEW, we had the Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher cage match, which is a bloody freaking mess. Both dudes with the crimson mask, which needed it, I think. I thought back on that, and I think that the blood worked there. This match didn't need blood because you had so much emotion. And it just goes to show that you can have different styles of matches inside the same type of gimmick that can both be absolutely amazing. And by the way, I'm sick of the damn tribalism with the AEW and the WWE people the last two nights where they're freaking arguing with each other over these cage matches. How about just be glad that they were awesome? How about that? I mean, it just pisses me off so bad. We got to fight. Ooh, you didn't get this. Oh, we didn't get that. Well, who gives a damn? I watched both of them. I loved both of them, and I'll watch both of them again. All right, so there you go. Matter of fact, I can't wait. And that's what it's all about. It's wrestling, people. Tribalism sucks. So there you go. Overall, I rated the show an A minus. I know what you're saying. You were so angry about the Raquel Rodriguez thing. Yeah, you're right. I was. You're completely right. I totally was. But I was so happy with that cage match. Like, it made it. It totally made it. So an A minus for Raw. NXT. I'm going to zoom through this, guys, because I just don't have enough time today. Because I knew it was going to take a while. Raw was special. But with NXT, man, we had the Hardys over Fraxium. That was great. They retain the TNA tag team titles. But what we're going to get out of that now is, I'm telling you, the Hardys are going to challenge them for the NXT titles, not the TNA titles. All right. They retain TNA. Fraxium now still have their NXT. I'm telling you, we are going to get Hardys versus Fraxium for the NXT belts. And I think the Hardys are going to win that damn thing. All right. I really do. I think it's going to happen. We're getting another one. We might get it soon. I'll let you guys know all about it. By the way, TNA tomorrow. I'm not going to give you the preview on it today. I will recap it on Friday, I promise. What else did we get? Jordan Grace over Roxanne Perez, and probably what was the most technical match of the night. Both of these women will be on the main roster soon enough, if not next week. I thought it was also a very good way for Jordan to kind of go over Roxanne after, Roxanne beat her for the belt not long ago. So, like, that kind of worked for me, leading Jordan into more stories. And it also helps Roxanne moving forward as far as going to the next brand, moving to the main roster. Weird. In the middle of the thing, we get a meeting with Obafemi in the back with Undertaker. By the way, I liked that. That was awesome, with the Undertaker saying, "You got to protect our yard." And then we got the Obafemi versus Moose match. You guys know I'm not an Obafemi person, so to speak, although he is getting better. Every time he goes out, he gets better. The guy's a sponge, apparently. I thought Moose is the better of the two. I think he showed that in the match. He's definitely the more athletic. He's not the strongest. All right. But Oba goes over Moose in what's going to be a total clash of two monsters, two big men. And I hope they get to do this again. I really do. I want to see these guys go again. It could be very special. We had the setup for Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe. They're going in a underground NXT underground match next week, where it's no lights. They take the ropes off. It's basically an MMA fight. Yeah, okay. They brawled throughout the arena and whatever. I'm kind of getting tired of this. Let's move on. Let's just move on past it. I'm good. And I'm big on Trick with this new attitude, this mean streak that he has, but I'm done with this story. So let's just build off the attitude and be done. That brings us to the main event. Champion versus champion. Stephanie Vaquer goes over Julia to become double champion. She's now North American champion and NXT Women's Champion. And to be honest with you, no one deserves it better than her. I still think that she could be the best technical wrestler in NXT, including the men. Nothing but good things are going to happen to Stephanie Vaquer. Sky is the limit with this girl. She's going to be a WWE champion in no time. Yeah, she's special. Julia, by the way, seems to be hurt. Little main event. That's probably why. But guys, this was a great main event, and I'm so glad they booked it this way, with the women being the main event and not Oba. And I'm glad they booked Oba in the middle and put a little bit in between as far as the Trick build up to kind of settle the crowd down to end up getting back up. So yeah, overall, not bad. I scored Roadblock a B. All right, it was a B. It had its moments, and it also had its down moments. It just was what it was. It wasn't bad. It was very good. It could have been a little bit better, but I don't know. We'll see. And guys, again, NXT still red hot. So, and still loving the TNA stuff. All right, now that brings me to Dynamite tonight, guys. Dynamite tonight is going to be absolutely awesome. They're starting what is called the International Championship Title Tournament. The winner of this, I love tournament wrestling, and that is one thing AEW does such a good job of. But we're going to get an international title tournament for the number one contender. Starts off tonight as Orange Cassidy is going to take on Hechicero of CMLL. We're going to get the Beast Mordos versus a wild card tonight. I hope it's Speedball. Please be Mike Bailey. All right? Please be Speedball Mike Bailey. Then on Collision Saturday, for the rest of the tournament, you're going to get Shibata versus Ricochet, and then Mark Briscoe versus Mark Davis. So that is the bracket. I have a feeling we're going to set up something pretty special here. God, I hope it's freaking Speedball tonight. But we'll see tonight. So that's going to be two of your matches. We're also going to get an appearance from MJF tonight, and we're going to hear from Kenny Omega, your new international champion. So he'll be taking on the winner of this tournament. So I don't know, if we get a Speedball versus Kenny Omega, that'd be great. Although I think they're probably positioning that to be more Ricochet. We'll see. We'll see. Tournament wrestling is awesome, and I can't wait to tell you all about it on Friday. Speaking of which, we may have some scheduling changes coming up, because if you know me, you know I love NCAA basketball. It's probably my first love besides professional wrestling. So we may have to change the schedule up a little bit next week as we get geared towards the NCAA tournament. By the way, brackets available at the Slow Burn if you want one. Yeah, just a little bit. 5. So, yeah, guys, that's it. It's a huge night ahead of us. We've had a huge week so far. Can't wait. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, TNA pay-per-view this weekend. Can't wait for Sacrifice. We got a lot going on, guys. And I'm here to cover every bit of it on the Slow Burn Pro Wrestling Podcast, where all professional wrestling storylines live. As always, I am your host, Matt Brennan. And in this world, folks, we are wrestling everything. So stay on top. Thanks for joining us on the Slow Burn.